Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a worth the buy or nah foundation review on the Kat Von D True Portrait Foundation. I am so stoked to be trying out this foundation because I don't know if you guys know, but a long time ago, I want to say maybe like 2015-ish, I was addicted to the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. Like, I was all about that extreme full coverage foundation. I just thought it was like the best thing that ever existed. I packed that stuff on my face like there was no tomorrow. And it's funny because as things change, like I just like feel like I saw myself evolve into liking a more like skin-like finish. So this came at a perfect timing because Kat Von D just launched their True Portrait Foundation, which is supposed to be a liquid to powder foundation that gives you a nice matte finish. It's supposed to be a medium coverage, which sounds fantastic because the other one was great, but it was just so like full and heavy, and I just am excited to see how this is going to perform. It's supposed to be weightlessly smooth all day wear, so let's put this gem to the test. I think that's all it's telling me for now, but I'm just really excited. I also like the fact that it's a more sleek packaging. It's not so bulky like the Lock-It Foundation, so I think that is awesome. They also came with a large shade range, and their like spokesperson model for this campaign was Janae Aiko, which, oh, she looked stunning. This foundation I think retails $35, I want to say, or $38. Let me go back on the website because I did order this online. It was $36, but I will have all that good information down below in my description box for you guys. I just want to go ahead and start off by moisturizing my face. We're going to go ahead and start off with my ProCure Rosa Care Moisturizing Gel. You guys know the drill. This is like a no-brainer for me. Just applying that all over to my cheeks to conceal the redness, to hydrate it, and to soothe it with the licorice extracts that this contains. For moisturizer, I'm going to be using my Bliss Watermelon Jelly Hydrator. Once more, applying this all over. It feels so good to just give the skin the hydration that it really needs before we put on any foundation. I'm actually really excited to do my makeup. I'm going to do like some fall makeup. It's cloudy and kind of chilly out, so it's like perfect, and I have like the fall accessories, I feel like. So I'm living. By the way, I'm wearing Uncommon James jewelry, necklace, and earrings. Uncommon James, I will have them linked down below, and the exact pieces I'm wearing. I'm addicted to jewelry, especially Uncommon James by Kristen Cavallari. I always talk about them. So amazing. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our primer. I think today for primer, I'm gonna be using, again, my Fenty Beauty Primer. This is the Pro Soft Matte one. And I just love how this just goes on the skin. I feel like it has this good like a very soft tacky consistency, which I feel works great. Okay, so now we're gonna be taking the Kat Von D foundation, and I did pick this up in the shade 60 Tan. That's what it matched me to when I placed like my foundation shades. Oh, this packaging is beautiful, like really beautiful. Oh, I don't know if I like this though. Yeah, I don't know if I like this type of, it's like a squeeze tube. That's probably why it's more on the affordable side too, because the packaging isn't like so expensive when it comes to like this. It's just this part that looks very luxurious looking, very like Kat Von D. But I like the fact that it's like practical, you know, like you could easily throw this in a travel makeup bag, in your purse, lock it up, and it's sealed. But it probably will get dirty because this is white, but I like that they did a different concept than the original Lock-It foundation, so it wasn't like the same thing. I'm gonna take, ooh, this is very runny. Do you see that? Like, it's super runny. It's like completely different than, let me try to shake it. Maybe I need to shake it. Yeah. It's completely different in consistency than the original Lock-It foundation that they first came out with. I kind of like the fact that it's a little bit runny because I feel like it's not going to sit on the face so heavy. So let's try this again. It's still runny. It's still very liquidy. Look. Ooh, okay. Let's put this on the face before we have an accident. Not with this white shirt. Okay. Feels very, very, very weightless. It'll also dry down to a powder, which we will definitely be the judge of once it goes on the face. Yeah, this is definitely medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's medium full coverage. I would say it's just a buildable medium coverage. Because some foundations say medium coverage, but they just have pretty good like full coverage finishes. But this one I feel like is definitely a medium coverage that you have to build up, especially if you do have like texture and stuff. You have to go and layer that up on the texture. But it does look pretty. It looks very much so like skin, which I definitely appreciate. I feel like the color looks good too. I feel like it matches pretty well. I'm gonna take some more product because I feel like that's not enough for like a full makeup day. But honestly, guys, I truly feel like I have nothing on my face, like no makeup at all. This is a very different formula than the one that they did with the locket. I'm gonna take that much, and I don't wanna mess too much with it because like I said, it's very runny, so you have to work quickly in terms of applying it because it can get messy. So let's try this. When you first apply it, you see that little radiance peeking through. It's definitely there. But I think that it does a good job of setting to a nice like powder finish, because up here it looks very in place and almost powder-like, but it's not like a like really matte powder. It's almost like a very like soft, like weightless airbrush powder. This consistency definitely feels nothing like any of the new foundations that I've tried, which I really appreciate because I feel like so many foundations have been coming out, but they're all kind of similar in some sense when it comes to like formula and what they're aiming for. But I think that this foundation is definitely very different. I love the way that this feels so lightweight. Like I can't even, and then it like sets, like it sets immediately, but it's not setting immediately to where you can't build more on. Because you know with some foundations, it sets so fast that you have to work really fast with the product. This, I'm still able to like stop and talk to you guys and not have to be like talking and blotting, you know, it's going well for me. So we still have a little bit more product, so I'm gonna add a little bit more because I do wanna put the full 2 layers on here. Like I mentioned, I did go ahead and build this up if you have some issues with your skin, whether it's texture or you have a lot of redness or blemishes that you need to cover. You probably will have to go in with 2 pumps or 2 droplets of the foundation, because that's what I did here to build it up to like my full coverage form. And I think that's another thing that definitely is a factor into like deciding whether something is worth the buy, is how it builds up when it does claim to like set into a powder, because that can sometimes make people be like, okay, if it sets to a powder, I probably have to work fast with the product, but with this one, you don't have to. Excited, this looks good. Ooh, the color is perfect too. And this is also another good finish for us, especially if we do have like oily skin or combo skin, because now that we're moving into the fall and winter when it gets super cold and our skin gets dehydrated, we want something that's going to be lightweight, that's not going to completely dry out your skin by being so matte. And the fact that this is a nice liquidy consistency is definitely something I applaud. So there's no alcohol, which is great. Honestly, it does look like it has a pretty soft blurring powder over the foundation. Like that's the vibe I'm getting right now. And with 2 layers, as you can see, definitely worked its magic. Maybe with the sponge, the reason why it wasn't giving me that full coverage potential right away, or like a fuller coverage, like a medium to fuller coverage, because I use the damp sponge, and the product is a little bit liquidy. So we'll have to see how it does with the brush. But honestly, it applied it really well with the sponge regardless. Like I really love the effect it gave my skin. It just looks so nice and healthy. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking my JH03 brush. This is my Morphe in collaboration with Jacqueline Hale brush. Love this kabuki brush, always use it in every foundation review pretty much. And now I'm going to be taking the foundation and putting it on the other side. This one is you have to like really squeeze, but you have to be careful because you obviously don't want it to like, there we go. You don't want it to like come out too heavy, but you do have to squeeze that. It's like a squeeze tube. Okay, I definitely feel like if you use a brush, you will get a little bit more of a fuller coverage result, because do you see how fast it's covering up the cheek? Like very, very fast. I think that's the key. Yeah, I mean, look at it. It almost looks like the same amount of coverage as this side. And this side has 2 layers. But I think if you want it to look fuller coverage faster, then you would probably want to go in with a brush, because it's not damp and it just applies the product on a little bit better. And like I mentioned, I like to kind of like stipple it and just like also pat it in so that it really just goes on the face well. I feel like a little bit though, where my texture is a little bit more bumpy, I'm noticing that it's kind of accentuating that and making it like separate just a little bit, like right here, but that's about it. It's not really bad where you're like, oh my god, this is so bad, but it's just something that I'm noticing, because you guys know I'm very critical when it comes to my foundation reviews. I'm glad that we were able to see how it did with both, because I definitely do feel like with 2 different products, it applies differently. Another thing that I am noticing is that I do feel like on the side where we went on the brush, it looks like we have on foundation. Maybe it's because the fact that the damp sponge did absorb some of that extra product, so if we did go in with a little bit more, it was able to kind of help like diffuse that and make it look more skin-like. But I mean, it still looks skin-like, but that's just another thing that I'm catching right now. Definitely setting to a matte finish, like a pretty powdered matte finish, which is something that looks so stunning. And I love that they did that with the formula, like a liquid to matte type of finish. So now that that's on the face, you guys can see, I think that this would be a good foundation for people that like a medium to full coverage, like a buildable coverage, somebody that wants that, but also wants a matte finish, but doesn't want it to feel so cakey or heavy. Because I feel like a lot of times when I try matte foundations, the consistency is always a lot thicker. And I don't want people to shy away from that because they're like, ooh, it's gonna be too full, it's gonna be too thick. Because not all matte foundations are like that. I think this is definitely proving to be more so of a just very natural skin-like finish and just feel good on the skin. You could even make this sheer too if you wanted to, just use less product and a damp sponge, and you could make it look more like your skin, like a tinted moisturizer feel almost. So that's another plus of it. I feel like this, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my very first initial thoughts on how this is doing after a good 35 to like an hour. And then we can go ahead and just analyze everything else, how it works with the rest of my products, and then we can start our day, because I'm definitely very, very curious about this foundation by Kat Von D. They haven't come out in the foundation in a very long time, so I'm really excited to see what this is going to bring to the table. Okay guys, so I am back. I finished my entire face of makeup. I will have all the details on this look listed down below in my description box, so you guys can go ahead and check these items out, because this face is like snatched today. This is what the foundation looks like. I do have to say that I feel like with the sponge, once I was putting on the concealer, I was having a little bit of difficulties, and I think it's because this does go from liquid to powder finish. So I feel like me putting like a liquid creamy consistency over like a powdered like finish kind of made some of the product in this area separate. It wasn't that bad. I was able to like make a comeback and just make it look okay. But once I went ahead and put on the concealer and made it work, I did go ahead and set it with my Airspun baking powder, just the under eyes, and it was great. I didn't have any issues of it looking intense or cakey or separating or breaking apart, so that's good. All the powder products work fantastic with this foundation. It was just that concealer. So I don't know, I would just like be light with it maybe, or maybe not apply any of the foundation around your under eye, so you can go ahead and do a little bit of concealing there. But it's just really your preference. I feel like it still worked for me, even though I did go ahead and have a little bit of difficulties. Like right now it looks perfected. The only thing that I was noticing as I was applying my makeup is that it kept separating. So I kind of had to go back in and just kind of take my sponge and blend it out a little bit. I probably should set it. I think I did set it. Let me just go ahead and take my little powder brush and just powder it down. Hopefully that kind of locks it into place. But I did notice that the smile line area, the separation was there. So you do have to go in and kind of really lock things in. I even actually went in and put a little bit of concealer in the forehead so that I could kind of like further set it and like lock that down. But I think we're looking really good. I really like the finish. Like I mentioned, it does feel very, 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 very weightless. Probably the most weightless foundation that I've tried out of all the ones that I've tried the past few weeks. So far so good. But like I mentioned all the time, we always like to do these wear tests because I want to see how this does with longevity, if it's gonna keep me nice and oil free through the day. Is it going to transfer? Is it going to like come off? All those good things that I need to know before I can recommend this to anybody. Like I mentioned, this does retail for $36. So now we have to wait and see if this is worth our $36 or not. And you guys will be seeing that in my In Natural Lighting check-in and then my final thoughts at the very end of the day. So stay tuned because I have a lot of good stuff coming for you guys. Hey guys, so I am back right now because I wanted to do a check-in of the foundation with the natural lighting facing me. Right now it is 5:30 p.m. So it's been a few hours since I last saw you guys. So I wanted to show you what the foundation is looking like. Looks like this. I have to say it's a little tiny bit on the dewy side. It's not like a serious dew, but I definitely see some shine peeking through right here. So I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and just kind of set it. So let's go back to our little, where you guys always see me. And I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of blot it. Do you see what a difference it made? Not blotted, blotted, it definitely helped. And I feel like you can't really see any of the product coming off, which is good. I'll do the same thing on this side. Right there. A little bit on the forehead as well. Like that. And we're pretty much good to go. So that definitely helped. I feel like we need to do a little bit of blotting, especially if you're somebody that's like super anal about like not having oils peek through. I think you will definitely need to blot. How many hours has it been since I last saw you guys? I think the last time, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's been like 4 hours. So we had a blot after that amount of time, which is kind of, but I mean, look, it still looks really good. So I am back right now. It is 12:25 a.m. I know it's very late. The last time I saw you guys, I think it was like 5:30-ish. So it's been a lot of hours since then. This is what the foundation looks like. So you guys really got a long wear of this foundation because I mean, I went for a long time. So we are definitely experiencing some dewiness on the face. You can see a little bit of it right in this area and then on my forehead. You guys did see in my check-in that I did go ahead and blot the face. So this is the second time that I come back and I feel like it doesn't look that bad, but if you don't like any type of dewiness, this may be an issue for you. I think I would say you can go back and blot it and it will look fine. Let's try that. Let's see, the forehead. Yeah, that looks really good. Right here. Yeah, I feel like it made a big difference right away. It's not removing any of the product, which is always a plus. I feel like we always want to make sure that the product is still nice and in place, and I feel like that's exactly what we are seeing right now, and I'm just definitely a fan of that. I feel like this foundation is pretty nice considering the fact that we went from a very thick, full coverage foundation that was the Lock-It foundation to something that is more breathable and something that is able to look more so like skin. Now, if you're looking for something that's going to be really mattifying, this probably is not going to be the one for you if you do have very oily skin, because like you saw, I did go ahead and have to blot it twice, one at 5 p.m. and one now. I mean, it is like midnight, but still, we did have to do the blotting. So if you don't like to do the blotting, then I don't recommend this. Now, I do have to say though, even though we did blot, once we blot, the foundation still was perfectly in place, looks very nice, looks fresh now, and I feel like we would still wear it for a few more hours because it's not transferring, like it's staying in place really well. When I mean it's not transferring, I don't mean like it's not coming off like on other stuff. I just mean it's still on the skin, because with some foundations, you know, you're touching, you're eating, and it starts to kind of like budge and move and stuff, and I feel like this is still really nice and in place. I feel like this, for somebody that does have combination skin, will definitely give you more so of that matte finish for longer. I feel like for people that have like dry skin and like a matte consistency but don't like that thick full coverage, then this will be something that you'll definitely enjoy. Also normal skin, I think they will really enjoy this. I just feel like this foundation is one of those products that more so what I do like about it is the fact that it does not feel like you have any foundation on. It feels so lightweight. I think that as we move into fall and winter, I don't get as oily just because it starts to be colder. So like, it's not like I have to deal with heat and stuff. But I think it's pretty good. Do I think it's worth the buy? I think it is worth the buy if you're somebody that's looking for like a nice long-lasting foundation that feels very lightweight, that looks good on the skin for a long period of time. I think the price is not bad whatsoever. I also like the fact that the formula does go from liquid to powder, but it doesn't dry down fast. It's something worth checking out, especially if you're looking for that type of foundation. I feel like with so many foundations out right now, it's hard to know what's good and what's not, or like what's worth it and what's not. But I do think that this formula and just the product, what it brings to the table, definitely stands alone very well. Like, it's different than a lot of the products that are coming out. It's one of those things that I feel like it's preference. Do I think it's worth the buy? I think it's good. I really do think that it's something worth checking out. You can always go to Sephora and get a sample. Sephora is so good with their samples, so just try that and then go for it. But I feel like if you've had your eye on this, then definitely worth checking out. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy watching it. Also, if you guys have any suggestions for future videos you want to see, leave them down below in the comment section so I can go ahead and check those out. Or if you have any other feedback, leave it down below. Always very, very helpful. And also, if you haven't done so already, I would love for you to subscribe and become a member of our family here on YouTube, because I wouldn't want you guys to miss my videos for the world. Also, please don't forget to hit that notification bell, because if you hit that notification bell, you literally will never miss anything on my channel. You're gonna be the first to know as soon as I upload something. So go ahead and hit that bell. And that being said, I love you guys so much, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye, guys. Okay. Oh my God. That's what I was waiting for. That moment.